So now coming down to AdSense placement policies or ad placement policies. So often publishers are optimizing actively in terms of the ad placements, while that is in lieu of performance optimization with respect to the CTRs, with respect to say the impression RPMs, etc., etc. There are different ways people optimize their ad placements, but there are chances that you might be violating certain policies while optimizing your AdSense account. For example, you might turn out to be having a lot of ads as compared to content, which often results in a policy violation termed as valuable inventory. We'll come to that in more details, but that's where I would also like to point out that with our WYSIWYG layout editor, as a Google certified publishing partner, we ensure that the policy guidelines are met and our optimizations take care of all of that while optimizing your site for revenues and ensuring that the policies are adhered with. So now let's look into the ad placement policies. What are some of the unacceptable ad placements? So I think I've spoken a lot about content to ad ratio. So a little bit background about this. So I think it was around 2016-17 when Google used to have a limit of only 3 ads per page. And with AdX, that could have gone up to like with 5 ads. But speaking specifically of AdSense, that policy violation was something that often people used to face a lot of challenges with, wherein they had long form content and wanted to monetize with more ads, but they were only allowed to run 3 ads. That's when again Google created a middle ground by saying that you can place as many ads as you want, provided the content to ad ratio is adhered to. There should be more content than ads, as you can see in the example on the left as well. If you have too many ads and too less content, it's basically intruding a lot of users, which results again in impacting the overall ecosystem, wherein the users might start using ad blockers, or this might result into some sort of invalid activity in terms of invalid clicks because there are too many ads on the page and the user is trying to do something else, but it results into clicking an ad, which was not a genuine intent of the users. So likewise, having flashy ads or bringing in some attention to these ads in terms of be it signages or pointing at ads that, okay, click here, etc., etc. So all these policy violation in terms of ad placements are something which need to be adhered with, and we'll talk about examples shortly. I'll take you guys through the content, some examples that we've seen on the internet. Cool. So let's talk about one of the very uncommon policy violations which we are seeing with some sites, wherein you can see that the ads refresh. So these are AdSense ads running on the page. So refresh or ad refresh is one of the optimization techniques that are there out there for monetization, but at the same time, you can see that the ads are refreshing on AdSense. So this is not really allowed, and this is a policy violation which can land your AdSense account even getting terminated. So the reason for that is this is very much related to modifying ad behavior, and there's more literature about it under the AdSense program policies as well. Moving forward, this is another example that I would like to talk about. In this example, as you can see, that the website is about converting YouTube videos to some sort of audio format or download these YouTube videos. So though, as we can see that it's running AdSense ads, but at the same time, this is a policy violation because this is some sort of illegal behavior or pages or sites that are promoting content behind either copyrights, etc., etc., being converted into something. Though the intent of the publisher might be that I just have a tool, I'm not really violating. But at the same time, this is violation in terms of the content. So for a publisher like this, it's just like a matter of when Google takes action, not a matter of if Google takes action, because it clearly violates the policy violations of Google. Another thing that I wanted to talk about. So this is like one of a good example. So on this site, I'll take you through two sections of this site. So here you can see that the content on the site is not really brand safe, and hence you're not really able to see AdSense ads or Google ads coming in on the page. But the publisher is aware of that. So this could either have been a result of Google taking down this page and not serving ads on this page, or the publisher could have been proactive wherein knowing that, okay, there are certain sections on the website wherein Google ads can't be run. That's where the publisher might have been proactive, and he might have thought of running something other than Google, wherein the policy violation with respect to content can be adhered with. Now, if I were to move forward, this is another section of the same site. You can see the site is running in ads coming in from Google, as we can see here. So the publisher has been, sorry for that. The publisher has been very smart about running in how he wants to monetize his site. He's clearly segregated his site in terms of content, and he understands what policies need to be adhered with and how it needs to be managed. So I think this is like one of the most recommended implementation, just in case if you have some content violations going on your website. Lastly, I would like to take an example of this site here. I've opened up the mobile site. So this is in lieu with the ad placement policies, if I were to say. So if I browse up, you can see there's an ad. Then you can see that there are two ads coming in here. So if I were to say that, is this a policy violation? Often a lot of people would come up and say that, no, this is not really a policy violation because I've been running it for a while. But at the same time, as a user, if I look at it in the entire viewport, all I'm able to see is 80% is just ads, right? Wherein there is literally no content within this viewport. And also as a page overall, I would say that the content to ad ratio here is probably being violated. So right now this is being working as it is. So you need to understand and choose between either performance over longevity of your account, because and safety of your account, because you can earn like probably a few $100 extra for a short term, or you could choose to not earn them and have a long-term stable income which accrues over the years, and you're always adhering to these policies. So these are few of the examples that I wanted to touch upon, and I saw on a few websites that I was recently visiting, and thought of that it could be interesting to share with you guys. Over to you, Richard, wherein we can continue. Awesome. Over to our content now in terms of traffic quality. So this is like one of the most, I think, feared of policy guidelines. And honestly, like it turns out to be more like a black box as well, because there's not much that is out there you could know about. But any actions taken by Google algorithms with respect to your site having any traffic quality issues. So basically, which is related to, it's not human. For example, if your site gets uh, like a DDoS attack, wherein multiple instances of your site are being loaded, etc., etc. In such a scenario, Google can potentially detect that and even terminate your Google AdSense account, etc., etc. Because again, they need to ensure the best interests of the entire ecosystem here. Hence, this is like one of the most important sections of the program policies. To talk about this in details, so invalid traffic activities are like clicking on ads or repeat clicks by same user. So not that people do that, but sometimes people start clicking their own ads in lieu of earning more money. That could potentially result in getting your account terminated. Then generating or receiving bot traffic to inflate. So often a lot of publishers would come up and speak with us that, hey, I don't have bot traffic, and I don't use bot traffic as a source for my website. But at the same time, like it says, you shouldn't be receiving any bot traffic as well. So for that, there are certain tools that you can potentially use to ensure that there is traffic, the quality of traffic is ensured. And for that to happen, you'll have to invest a little bit more into some paid tools. However, if you're somebody who has search traffic and good credible sources of traffic, I would say that you can still choose not to use a tool like that. But at the same time, even if you use a tool which can help you with it, but at the same time, the chances are that you can still land into troubles like that. Google has its own ways and means to detect these traffic, and this is not out there in the public. Otherwise, a lot of people would game the system, which is again not in the interest of the entire ecosystem. Hence, these policy guidelines need to be adhered with, ensuring that you have credible sources of traffic coming in. And likewise, if you were to speak about using a paid traffic source, ensure that you have a source which is credible. There are low quality paid traffic sources as well, but at the same time, people even try to buy traffic of, at times, say Google AdWords, which is like a credible source to buy from. But at the same time, it might not. You'll have to work on the unit economics in terms of whether it makes sense for you to buy from a traffic source like AdWords, which ensures your traffic quality as well while giving you some traffic. Then even manipulating ad serving is something that could be an issue, and ads embedded within applications as well could be an issue as well.